Is it a banger? Hell yeah.
Classes in session, this is the show where knowledge is profit, just so you know. Army Piper, OC Guy, and Trade Fly, bringing crypto news to the whole alumni. It's the word on the market, the one-stop shop for the info you need every time that it drops. The go-to show that you need right now. This is Piper Academy, it's all going down, let's go.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome here to Piper Academy. This is your morning market report. We got the markets opening a little bit red today, but we got some information on Ethereum. Is SEC going to go after XRP again? And plus, we hit exactly where we told you we were going to hit yesterday on Bitcoin. Let's break it all down today in class. Classes in session. Let's get it. Yo, good morning, everybody, and welcome here to Piper Academy. How's everybody doing? This is your morning market report. I'm glad to have you here. It is Friday. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Things are looking interesting on the charts today for sure. We've got the whole team here today. Let me go over here, take a peek. Oh, yes, they're all there. We've got the whole team here for you today. Tradefly and OC Guy in the house. So we're going to be looking at all this information and all this data. Tradefly, how you doing, man? How's your week been, crazy man?
It's been good, man. It's wild. Always super busy. We're down in Carlsbad right now, so down by the water, enjoying life a little bit. But we're gonna be wrapping it up, heading back up to the house. And yeah, man, good to be here. Piper Academy is just taking over your day. We're giving you morning shows. We're giving you evening shows. You know, just giving you all the TA you can handle. So
Facts.
again, good to be here. I'm ready to mix it up with you guys in the chat, and let's get it started.
Awesome. OC, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing fantastic. As like Tradefly mentioned, we are basically taking over your day. Next time you see us gonna be restroom time TA. So stay tuned.
Markets are dumping, and so am I. Welcome to Piper Academy. Let's get it.
That is probably the best intro ever.
Oh, good Lord.
I want to use that. That could legit be like just an everyday intro. Markets are dumping, and so am I. Oh man, that's great.
Crypto AI said, can you guys fact check that Japan announced that they will start using XRP for payments by 2025? So yes, let's do some rundown on that.
I'll do some research in the background.
Perfect.
I would say
perfect. We can do that. Real-time research. I love it.
Japan, let me tell you though, start looking at Jasmine. Jasmine already has some deals in place in Japan.
Start looking at Jasmine. Why have you not been looking at Jasmine? We've been talking about it for a long time.
Just saying. But I'll start doing some research for you.
All right, while you do that, I'm going to go knock out some news. So let's jump over to the news, guys, and let's do that. Guys, brought to you by Decrypted.tax, your trusted tax official. Give Ernest a call. Get a free consultation and 25% off if you use his services. The consultation, not dependent on that. You guys can ask him some questions. You'll learn a lot. Trust me, the man knows his stuff. Check out the link down below in the description. Let's get in here, guys. Fear and greed sitting at neutral. 48 is where we are currently sitting at right now. I think this weekend we might see a little bit of volatility, so maybe this won't go too crazy over the weekend. I would like to see us build slowly so that this doesn't pump into fear too quickly. That would be bad. So let's jump over and check out the crypto bubble, see how they're looking. And I was telling you on the hourly at market open here, like market open is shaky right now at best. I'm going to look at the heat map here in a second on stocks, but Crow, that's your big winner. That is the native token on crypto.com. It is up 11.6%, which means a lot of people are moving over there into that. It's extremely cheap, if not even free sometimes, to convert over to Crow. And so when you're getting up, a lot of people in crypto.com move their money into that to hold it until it dumps and then they get back in. So interesting that it is the big winner right now. But you look at the daily though, overall on the daily, guys, things aren't horrible right now. You can see Sui's up 25% here. TIA is up 19.9%. So there are some good movers here. Let's jump down and see how it is looking on the total market cap here. Bitcoin sitting at $60,000, up 4.5% for the day. down 0.6% for the hour. You got Ethereum sitting over here at $2,600 right now, up 6.3%, getting a good rally. Got an article on who is buying that stuff, so that's looking pretty good there too. CJ Taylor, good morning to you also, man. He said good morning, everyone. BNB up 2.6%. Solana cooling off a little bit. It rallied really hard in comparison to what Bitcoin had done a couple days ago, so now it is cooling off a little bit, down 1.4% on the daily. XRP down 6.5%. And yes, I have that short going on XRP at 62 cents. You can see it's up about 25% right now. So did get into a short. Wasn't exactly at the 65-cent level. I'll show you guys why I got into it, though. There's some major resistance going on. So I got into that trade. Toncoin up 2.7% for the day and up on the hour, 0.2% there, guys. So seeing that. Number 9 here, Dogecoin is sitting 2% up for the day. Cardano 1.4, Tron 0.8. Any other big movers in here? Let's see here. Bitcoin Cash, yeah, you know how I feel about that, 3.9%. Near Protocol up 4.6%, and Pepe moving up another position to number 24 at 5.2% to the upside. Where's Caspa? Caspa sitting at number 22, up 2.3. Got to go look at Caspa. Always got to go look at Caspa. Let's jump over here and check out the liquidations for the past 24 hours, folks. In the past 24 hours, 51,881 traders were liquidated. Total liquidations coming in at $212.2 million. The largest single liquidation order happened on Binance. It was for Bitcoin. It was 12.99. We'll just call that $13 million and make it a day. Looking here at the economic calendar, we have nothing today. Zero. No matter what I put this on, we have no data. Look, if I put it on the 3, nothing. If I put it on the 1, nothing. Oh, wait, there is. Okay, there you go. Baker Hughes oil rig count. That's what we got. Nothing on the 2 or 3 level now. Guys, next week, that's the data we're going to be looking at. It is going to be next Tuesday, August 13th. We're going to get PPI, core PPI. We're going to be breaking all this down on Monday and what to watch for. Right now, it is consensus and forecast on that PPI that it will be less than previous, although I'm sure we're talking about the federal government. They're going to come in, slide those new numbers from last month back into the markets and say, hey, you know that data we gave you last month? Yeah, it wasn't correct. We just we had bad data. So here's the real numbers, and they're not as good as we played them out. So they like to slide those into the back of the room on the table and not even tell you about them. So we're going to be looking at that also. Oh, CJ Taylor, that's my brother. That's my brother Clyde dropping in to say, hey, so what's up, Clyde? How you doing, man? Core PPI month over month also expected to be down 0.2% based on the forecast. And then Wednesday, the big one, guys, core inflation. We're going to get that inflation rate month over month, inflation rate year over year. And both of those are coming in with some concerning numbers. One, inflation rate year over year, we're right back where we were 12 months ago. All this work and all of this quantitative tightening has done nada except for wreck the economy based on these numbers. And then core inflation month over month actually expected to be up 0.2%. What's down 0.1%. So that would be a 0.3% increase right there on that inflation month over month. That is what I got on the news. I don't want to jump into too much. Do I want to get into this? Yes, maybe. Guys, that Bitcoin pump. We're going to go ahead and do this and lead into the Bitcoin TA with this. Rise in Bitcoin addresses suggests that renewed interest is coming from retail. That is who is buying all of this crypto right now, all this Bitcoin. Where's it coming from? It's not people buying the dip as much as it is new retail coming in to pick it up. Retail investors may be making a comeback in the cryptocurrency market as evidenced by a recent uptick in the new number of new Bitcoin addresses being created daily. In a recent post on X, market intelligence platform Into the Block highlighted this trend, suggesting that the increasing number of new addresses indicates growing interest from retail participants. Since November 2023, that number of daily new Bitcoin addresses has been on a decline, which many analysts viewed as a bearish signal, pointing to a drop in new participants. However, it seems to be reversing. Let's jump over here to the Trio Cam, and let's talk about this. A lot of new addresses coming in on crypto right now, on Bitcoin especially, at least. They are a lot of new addresses coming in, meaning, hey, we got new people in the house. Thoughts on that, TradeFly? Is this what we're seeing right now? Is this partial institution and then the other side made up of retail? How much retail is really buying Bitcoin at these levels? What do you think?
I mean, that's kind of hard to gauge. I would have to probably defer to somebody that's a little better at looking at the blockchain and kind of doing an analysis on those things. But I will say that retail seems to be coming back in a little bit. Bitcoin is definitely making waves again. You're starting to see it more in the news. My friends are starting to talk about it a little bit more as well. And so, when Bitcoin's up over $60,000, like that is usually a good sign, right? Like we've recovered and we've gotten back into a range that is just a significant area for Bitcoin. And anywhere when you start getting up to 69,000, like I think that's really kind of the line in the sand that where I start getting hit up, where I start getting like text messages again and saying, "Hey, like, what do you think about getting into Bitcoin?" I'm like, "Hey, silly, wait till 50,000." And so, like, we've already hit that. We've cleared out the liquidity. So, like, now it's like, I really don't like, no, it's like, I'm just, if you're long term bullish, hop on in. But I think slowly but surely retail's flowing in. But when we break all time high, I think again, I think is really when you're going to start getting that FOMO and you're going to start hitting the mainstream. But it's going to keep growing, right? It keeps being a topic of conversation. Uh, Trump came down to the Bitcoin 2024, right? Like that made waves. There's going to be regulation, and I think it's actually going to be part of the debate, to be honest with you. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens when Kamala and Trump finally have their little face off. Maybe it might actually be a question that's asked. And I think that right there is going to be a catalyst for some price action.
You know what's funny about that is people. You always hear people in the chat. They're always like, We don't want to hear about the politics. Leave the politics alone, bro. Politics is getting all up in our crypto. I'm just saying. I can't do anything about it. So,
it's not me. It's you.
It's not me, man. Tell the politicians to stay out of it. But no, that is true. OC, your thoughts on this with this number of retailer? Like, we just heard recently? Someone asking, I think it was TA Tim, was talking about his mother-in-law hit him up and said, "What is this the thing about Trump and crypto?" Trump's announcement that they made about DeFi, Trump Jr., more specific, made a comment about something big coming, and it has to do with DeFi in the crypto space.
Huge.
Bringing huge amounts of attention to people that don't even know how to spell crypto. That's how disconnected they are from it. They're like, "What is BTC? What's the difference between BTC and Bitcoin?" That's where they are, right? So, I am seeing that there is a whoa, I think a lot of people may have just gotten transferred. I got to go check that. Maybe getting attention being brought into the crypto space from people that never even had a thought about it. So what's your thoughts on that, OC? Where's this big retail push coming from?
Well, the retail, I do believe that it has to do with media, but that's not what I'm worried about. I mean, of course, in the press cycles, that was a very important signal. And right now, I don't want to be that a whole right that tells retail doesn't matter, and it does. I mean, it really does. Because, and let me say this upfront, retail is the actual wheel that moves the market. But here's the thing: we do need a little bit of that push, and we've seen and we've talked about these anonymous whales following big traders, following big holders of Bitcoin. And right now, guys, we already have opened up that actual legit door, right, which is the ETF. So if Trump or Kamala or whatever start bringing that attention, first, of course, we're going to be seeing that turn heads to crypto. We're going to be seeing those influx, and then guess who's going to be late to the party, right? But it's going to be driving the next higher high. Well, I guess those are going to be whales and institutions with the ETF. So strap on. Remember, guys, it's time to hold. It's time to hold it. And then when newcomers start jumping in, you are already in. If you're not there yet, don't worry, guys. Remember, this is not a financial advice, but how can you get exposure if you don't have Bitcoin, right? So here is what is a general consensus. If you want to win on Bitcoin, you need to be on Bitcoin. If you want to be a lottery ticket winner, you need to go ahead and buy a lottery ticket, right? So, I mean, if you don't have any Bitcoin and you want that exposure, I would friendly recommend you to go get something and hold it, because the fun is just getting started. But yeah, and also very
Awesome.
agree with the job numbers. They're gonna
I
come
agree.
and they're gonna come like, yeah, behind the door. And, hey, you know what? We were wrong again.
We were wrong. We
And
gave
this
you guys
is it,
fake
right?
numbers. Sorry about that. Oops. Again. I don't know why this keeps happening
Oopsie.
like 12 times a year. It's horrible. We got to figure this out.
Right.
Let's jump over to the heat map. Let's take a look at that. Let's jump into Bitcoin, guys. Looking at the heat maps here, I am seeing NVIDIA. There's a slight movement to the upside at market open this morning, guys. NVIDIA's up 0.4%. Apple's up about 0.7%. Amazon up 0.5%. So nothing major moving here. We do have Google down 1% here. Big winner, I've been talking about it a lot. Eli Lilly up 5.6%. The pharmaceutical company's making the money. That's who's making all the money right now. But everything else kind of flat. I think everyone's kind of just, you know what? There's no economic data today. Let's just let the markets cool off. We don't need the volatility. We'll have to see how the late day works, the mid market going into the close. But right now, it looks like a lot of stabilization coming in. A shout out to Amy Lives Crypto. I just saw her in the chat there. Awesome. Let's go ahead and jump over to Bitcoin, guys. Yesterday, we talked about, and we did this live. Let's see, yesterday morning, we were in this candle about right here. And I said, all right, guys, we're into the CME gap. Let me go ahead and put the CME gap back up here. There's the CME gap. So we got the CME gap here, okay? We are touching on it. I do think that we're going to close the CME gap. While we're up there, if you look at the daily, and I drew this red rectangle up here, red T box. I said, look, we've got the 100, the 50. These are both daily moving averages. We've got the dynamic reactor and the quantum reactor all coming in for confluence right there. And depending on how you pulled your fixed range volume profile, you might even have some value areas there. So I said, I do believe that if we're going to close the CME gap, which I do think is going to happen, it's going to come up to that level. Let's go ahead and draw that T box on there. We did that. And I said that would be the area that I would watch for rejection. Guys, we can't walk you on target any better than this. Okay, we hit that. We're coming down. I am now watching for this pullback because there's the path arrow that literally has not been moved. I pulled it back down here to the 0.66 on the golden pocket, coming into confluence with this 200-day moving average. I do think we're going to come down to this point. Obviously, we can go ahead and move this now. I just didn't want to move it before we showed receipts, right? I do think we're going to come down and get our bounce here. This is where I'm going to look for this bounce. If we don't get the bounce there, guys, then we are heading back down to the ranges down here, the 618 area, because if we go and we pull a little micro fixed range volume profile just from this area here over, I'm pretty sure, yeah, we've got the point of control coming in right here in the 300. We could very easily, if we do not hold the golden pocket, come back to that value area or the point of control and that 300-day exponential moving average. Looking at the 4-hour right now, we are starting to get the downtrend arrow. It's the same stuff that we had on the uptrend. There's a little VWAP breakout right there. That's that green that says, hey, we got oversold. We got an uptrend. We got oversold from the chart prime indicators. We had the very strong True 7 kicking off there, right? This all gave indication of upside movement, all in this one oscillator right here called the Oscillator Pro Plus. But what I am watching for now is we are starting to get the downtrend, the overbought, a downtrend oscillator here in the True 7, while not bright green. We didn't get that bright green. When we get the bright green bolted out like this, that means, hey, True 7's triggered, right? Right now, it is just looking like a sideways movement here on this True 7 indicator. So, but we do have some downside, which is why I do think we're going to come to here, but nothing saying, hey, all the way back down. Let's go. Let's get it. So watch out for that level. That's $59,067 on that 0.66 of that golden pocket. If we hold that there, guys, I do believe we are heading back up even more this weekend, and we'll have to wait and see. Let's go ahead and kick it over to TradeFly. I know he's got that beautiful bean footage of some heat map up for us, so let's get into that.
You know it. So, looking at the liquidation heat map, I have it zoomed out right now. We're on the 6-month And the liquidity that we've been talking about for the longest time was down here. Remember, when we were talking about this liquidity down here, there was not much going on up here. Understand that as time goes, this will heat up because it's kind of going back, right? So it's heating up this area, but this was the main area we were looking for. It's gone. All right. That's now not in play anymore. So where's the bulk of the liquidity sitting? It's people that went short from these multiple hits when we hit resistance as we're kind of working our way down. So, all-time high, there's not going to be a lot of liquidity there because people really, don't want to short something that's moving up and right. You get a second hit, people pile in. Third hit, people pile in. Fourth hit, people are freaking really jumping in because not only did you get a fourth hit around here, like, pretty similar area and started kind of building a trend line of resistance, right? That's an opportunity for them that they saw to kind of jump because there was kind of a weakening price action as it was testing those areas of resistance. So now they're kind of piled in. All right. There's a lot of liquidity sitting up here. You can see it. There's, hundreds of millions of dollars to billions of dollars at some of these levels. And it starts at about 72,000. So this is the drum I'm going to beat probably for the next few months, just like I did with 50K, is that this area is probably going to need to get cleared out. Now, I'm not saying that means we're going up and we're just going to blast off. It just means that I think that liquidity at some point is going to drive the price action up here to clear it out, right? The maker likes to get his. It doesn't mean we're going to leave this range. It just means that it needs to get up here so everyone's happy. All right. So I don't know that like we could see this thing where like, maybe you get like a pogo between liquidity, but again, it didn't stack up. So if you're looking down here to be like, okay, well, what happened once we cleared out this liquidity? It looked like, people were beaten into submission. They were scared off and you didn't see a lot of leverage longs here. So it's very interesting to take note of that. That's one thing that I've been seeing with some of these trend reversals is that price action will come down, clear out the liquidity. And once people have been beaten, then they just don't pile in anymore. And then that's it. And it kind of frees up price action to move around. So keep an eye on that. About 72,000. That's a big area for me. On the shorter time frame, I'm not even going to bring it up because the 3-day, there's hardly anything. It's really dark on the top and the bottom side of price action right now. We got freedom of movement. I think we can really hang our hats on TA. And I don't really have much in terms of translating it into the chart right now on the shorter time frame. So I'm not going to sit here and parrot Army because I'm of the same mindset of what he's calling for right now with price action. So that being said, I am going to jump over. I was asked to look up some of or I think it was, can we fact check that Japan announced they will start using XRP for payments by 2025? I did not find any articles on that. What I did find articles on, and I'll bring this up, is that a lot of banks have partnered with XRP. Some say as high as 80%, right? So there's only this one account that is screaming that they announced this, and that is from a guy named Brett Hill. I went over his Twitter. He's an XRP guy, all right, through and through. All this guy talks about is XRP. So I really don't know who he is. Seems he has a pretty large following on the XRP side, but that's all he talks about. And then when I went to the actual news source that I'll have to scroll to find it. But when I went to the actual news source that was documented there, I was not able to find that article. So I did do a search for it. Again, this is the big thing that I kept finding. And this was released in about, I think, June. So June 6, 2024. And this, again, seems a little bit like speculation. When I actually read through it, it was like there was a poll of industry leaders. All right. So I don't know exactly what that means, but that's kind of what I got for you. But it could be, something a little bullish for XRP if they do have a lot of deals with the Japanese banks. But again, Jasmy, they call that the Japanese Bitcoin right now. So that's the one that I've always been a little bit bullish on. But yeah, I mean, take note of this. It's definitely something to kind of keep in your back pocket. And that would be super bullish for XRP if they do have these deals legitimately in place with some of the Japanese banks. I mean, things should be up and right mostly for XRP at this point. So that's what I could find. And I'm going to pass that over to OC.
Yeah, I'm going to talk on that real fast. I would say right now with the Bank of Japan having a lot of the weakness in their market right now that they have, they would not be announcing a major thing of uncertainty. Because let's be honest, us in crypto, we know what crypto can do to move money in the financial world. It's fintech, right, for us. But for the average person, remember, we're a small percentage of the world. We're very small, and we're very early into crypto, right? A majority of people, that would concern them that this unknown factor is going to be a network and infrastructure within the Bank of Japan and for the Japanese yen. So I would think that they would be very hesitant to make a major announcement like that until they get their yen stabilized. So I just want to put that out there. You gotta look at second and third order effects of what does this look like to, and let me pull my bias of, I'm pro fintech, pull my bias out of this, second, third order effects, do some critical analysis on it, and you'll go, this is not something that the Bank of Japan would do right now with the stability of the yen being in question. So
I just love hearing you say second and third order effects, man. Such
bro, I'm an
term.
Intel analyst through and through. 22 years. This is what I've done.
I love it.
I can't look at something and go, this is A, B, and C. I have to go, this is A, B, and C, and it eventually will be X, Y, Z. What happens between here and there? Is this really what I'm seeing? So this is why you guys tune in here. Analytics. We do analytics. There's a lot of people on YouTube that say, I'm an analyst. I challenge all of them. I was paid by the federal government and trained in some of the highest levels of analytical and critical thinking courses in the government. I know how to do this. I am an analyst. Let's kick it over to OC.
Can I take the time to just point out your beautiful little pop filter you got?
Isn't it beautiful?
I don't know if anyone's noticed, but look at Piper, man. He's getting stylish over there.
I'm trying to make everything better every day for the alumni because I love this.
Second order effect of making me happy.
That's it. Let's OC, what do you got for us, bro?
Oh, so first of all, Piper, I think you should be giving us a little bit of a walkthrough to the studio. I think you have so many cool things. Yesterday, he was giving me a walkthrough. He showed me his mic hub, and also I was looking at some Star Wars things that he has going on in there. That was pretty cool. So
I have a lot of Star Wars stuff. I'm a nerd.
Nice. High five for nerds. All right. So right here, I do have a little bit of kind of like a disclaimer. Remember that I was talking about a Wyckoff movement, right? The first area of resistance that I was expecting was all the way up here because we have the very first TP target and also a wick in here, which makes me believe that we have that retracement. Also, remember that I was mentioned this early turn up, which I was also showing you in previous movement where we have another movement to the upside. Well, then my invalidation point was very much in here. And then right now, my next area of resistance is going to be this range in here. So basically, this range makes much more sense for a Wyckoff pattern. So be aware, I'm already into a short on Bitcoin. I will be moving my stop to entry as soon as possible. In fact, as soon as we end up the class. Also, I want to show you here on the next Bitcoin chart what is my plan for the upcoming movements, right? So shout out to Alex Crypto. He was drawing this trend line yesterday in ChartPrem's classroom, right? And I did copy it. And that's where we start looking for possible entries. So one of my next entries on my validation point was a breakthrough that trend line here, which then is going to be turning into a short position as I start jamming into my next resistance area, which is a combination of my prime train assistant, my dynamic reactor, and some order blocks that we had going on in there. So guess what? It happened a beautiful short. So I'm shorting right now. I should be moving my stop to entry as soon as possible. I will not be doing it right now until I do it for real in real life, and then aiming for the retracement that we could. Oh, come on. Let me hide this one. There you go. And then aiming for the next possible entry, which is going to be at this trend line for the retracement here. And then, guys, I was talking
price level on that
crypto. That's my 58,083. So
there you go. For the people listening at home, driving around right now, there you go.
And a little caveat here, if we break down, this might be a fast movement. So I'm calling for a stop out at 57 if it goes down. But if I have a stop down, we could be bouncing back up at 56 to 100. and then making a right shoulder, basically enabling me to enter a shorting here. So these will be depending on how the price market move, because remember, we don't know for sure how the market's going to play out. We only have possibilities, and based on those chances, we aim for the plan. So this is going to be my invalidation area, 56 900, which I could be stopped out. So entry for long somewhere around 58 100, and stop loss at 56 300 or 400, and then a re-entry for a short back at 57 500. So if that is the case, guys, remember, I'm not planning to get stopped out, but if that is how it's going to be playing out, well, so be it. I'm already prepared what's coming up. So other than that, turning back to you guys.
Awesome. Guys, if you guys got any alts, we're at the top of the hour. If you guys got any altcoins you want to see or any stocks, please drop it in the chat there. OC, you guys are going to be putting that list together. I already see a request from Arsan246 to do Clean Spark and Solana. He wants to get a ride on the Soul Train trade flies. So let's get that going. And then shout out to Ada Ace. He's been talking about World Mobile Token for a long time. He's up 20% on it this week and doing great. So shout out to Ada Ace. That man knows his way around that Ada network. Let me tell you, that ecosystem. So if you guys don't know, you guys need to follow Ada Ace. He's got some fantastic content into the world of Cardano. So shout out to him, man. Tradefly, you got the Soul Train going? Is it loaded? Is the engineer ready to move the Soul Train? All right, let's do it. I am working, by the way, on a train sound just for this particular TA with Tradefly. So let's get it over to your chart, man. You're muted. Can we get an unmute?
Got you.
What is
Yeah,
this?
sorry about
What is
that.
this? The nightcap?
All right. Yeah. Hey, get out of here. So looking at Sol on the 1 hour, it's a little bit shorter of a time frame than I typically look at, but I just wanted to see kind of, going back in time, right? I leave these lines up here, and this plays out quite a bit. We don't always hit. Sometimes price just kind of moves through these areas rather quickly. But one thing I always talk about is the OC retest. So we had this pretty significant area at about 142. It did actually break through, and we got exactly what I kind of talk about quite often. It's coming back down, and OC always preaches this. It's about the retest, right? So we got the retest right here. And ultimately, that's where we got the catalyst to make the move up and right. And again, I had a horizontal level of resistance right here. That's the red line at about 162. So that was the move that I was really looking for. 142 to about 162. We had a bunch of resistance right here, at least on the hourly. Let's go now to the 4 hour and see what it kind of looks like. So, this, yeah. And then there you go. So you got the dynamic reactor, you got the 200 SMA on the 4 hour. That realistically, had I made that move, would have been where I got out, is right there where I saw confluence between the 200 and the dynamic reactor. I would not have actually wrote it up to here. Full transparency. Now, I did not take this trade, but I do remember talking about it. So, now what are we looking at? Well, we're looking at a bunch of resistance. All right. So you have the dynamic reactor, the 200, this horizontal level, the 100. All right. So everything's kind of lining up with confluence here. It's going to be tough for price action to move through the 162 area. So I would say right here, not a place to go long. We do exactly what we just did right here. All right. Where I say, look for the retest at 142. Now that's the next spot that we look for, right? Where's the next spot? I think you guys can figure that out. It's at 162. So we're kind of looking for the same thing. All right. Comes up, retest, and then we start making the move up to our next level. Our next significant level right here is going to be the value area high of the range, which is 175. And you could take it all the way up to about 181. So, it's up to you on how you want to play it. Again, this is more scalping, intraday type trading. But again, retest up to this level, pretty quick play. Would be about 7, almost 8%. Now, remember, come down to the prime oscillator, and the one thing you want to look for is that you have some sort of trajectory that shows you it's going up and right still. If we get into an overbought situation and you see it start to dump down and right as we get up in this area, then that for me is a no-go. Okay. So I wouldn't enter into something seeing the RSI or the prime oscillator dipping back down and right, pretty harshly. Okay. That's just one of my things, personal setups, that I look for. So significant areas right now, we're pretty close to 162. That's kind of your high side resistance. You want to keep an eye on that area, see how it interacts. Right now, we've been rejected. So, be careful. And then low side, if we come back down to the 142 again, so what I would do is go ahead and add an alert on the horizontal level right there at 142. See there? There you go. Nice little yellow bell. It's going to let me know when we hit that area. So now that might be an opportunity. So again, I like to kind of let things come to me. Unfortunately, on the show, we can't always, be right at resistance or be right at support. You got to let the price action work towards you a little bit. So the other thing you need to do is set an alert on this horizontal level at about 162. So now we have 2 alerts set, and we'll just wait. We're going to wait for price action to get to those levels, and then that's when we'll kind of try to make a move. Now, let's go ahead and zoom out for those that are hodling and kind of it's a long-term play for Solana. Let's look at it on the larger time frames. Bullish. It's bullish from kind of a macro look. Now, I see this a lot on a lot of the altcoins that I've looked at recently. This little wick that goes down. I'm not buying it. Everything pulled back really, really hard and then recovered, just as well as when it pulled back. So, I mean, we had this pullback, but then we recovered right back to the middle of how far it pulled down, right? So we're looking at it and we're like, damn, that's pretty harsh. Now, the only thing, like when you zoom out and you just only look at this little section, what you don't want to see is a lower high. But when it really comes down to it, we're in a range. We've been in a range for Solana since March. And it's crystal clear the range that we're in. We're still in it. So you can kind of play it back and forth. It's just we're in the middle of it. We're consolidating, which is not surprising. Solana made such a quick move up. Remember, it went down as low as I think $8 or $9 bear market low, right? And now look where we're sitting. So, this right here is okay. It's okay to have consolidation. It's okay to cool down and bounce around a little bit before we ultimately make a move up. But we got to break out to one side or the other. I think the rest of the crypto market is going to drive that breakout. So you just got to keep an eye on it. Once we start getting up to these ranges, where's Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin starting to creep up towards all-time high again? Is it breaking out? That's going to drive the train, I think, for Solana as well. I don't think Solana is moving independent of the crypto market at this point like it was before. There was a lot of money flowing back into Solana because they went from very negative news with FTX to very positive news of like, hey, this chain is working, it's more efficient, and they're not having all the network outages that they used to have. And, so that right there, as they're developing and still building and growing, was bullish sentiment for Solana. So again, that was a few of the ranges that I'm looking at. Hopefully you set the alerts, and then, we'll kind of let the price action come to us.
Awesome, man. Let's jump over here. Let's take a look at Ethereum. I do have a news article on this first that I want to bring up, and then we'll talk about what I'm seeing on Ethereum. I'm in a long right now on Ethereum, but I'm going to tell you guys my trade strategy. I broke it down for TradeFly earlier, but I want to bring up this article. Let's talk about this first. $56 million worth of Ethereum withdrawals stuns the crypto exchange Binance. Crypto community has seen intense trading activity on ETH, and I just talked about this the other day in our AMA that, I have a lot of ETH, and it's not really doing what I would think it would do this cycle. It's been very stagnant. Let's go over here. Let's talk this out. Look, Ethereum last cycle, $1,900. It was its happy zone. It stayed there, and everyone was like, it's a stable coin. They made jokes about it. It became a big joke. And then all of a sudden, it took off. But what's the difference between this cycle and last cycle? Well, it went from proof of work to proof of stake. And that's a huge difference. So I've been a little concernicus about my wallet, my bag of ETH, but I wanted to talk about that and just lay that out there. There is a difference between last cycle to this cycle. I acknowledge that. All this data, right? Analytical cycle, we're in there. But I am seeing some things that are now giving me some bullish thought back in Ethereum. Let's jump into that and take a look. Ethereum whales have started buying huge buying spree of Ethereum. They've been accumulating ETH throughout the day as the price of ETH is shedding off its recent losses. As per Well Alert, 2 major Ethereum transactions were conducted earlier today. In the first transaction, one whale bought 10,986 ETH from crypto exchange Binance, transferred it to their private wallet. This Ethereum purchase was about $29.26 million. Shortly after that, Well Alert detected another ETH transfer. A Well purchased 10,000 ETH from Binance, and it was also transferred to the Well's private wallet. As per the estimates, this purchase is worth about $26.7 million. Collectively, it's about $56 million worth of Ethereum. So there is some institutional buy-in. Let's go look at the chart, and I'll show you guys what I'm seeing here on ETH. First of all, we did get a bounce on the 382 at $2,400 here, but I have some areas that I think that we may, because you guys, you got to see here, we're actually on a trend line. This trend line I've showed you guys before goes all the way back here to November of 2022, pretty much a year after the fall of the markets, right? Bottom of the bear market. And you can see that we got support on it, We broke it. It became this resistance level to get back into, and then became support for a long time here. I'm looking at daily candles here, guys. We broke this, and right now we are coming up for damn near a test on it right now. That is one of the trend lines that I'm watching. Peter Brandt also has one that he put out a while ago, and I threw this on the chart, and I think we talked about it on the show at one time. But this one goes all the way back to June 17th of 2020. And that was where we had a mark bottom here. We had a big mark bottom here, all on this trend line. Almost got to it at this point back in 2023. Guys, that is now currently sitting. Oh, go back. There we go. That is now currently sitting right down here at the 236, and it is about $1,800. If we do get a rejection off of my trend line and we break this 382 on at $2,400, that would be the level that I would be watching for on the bounce. Now, why am I looking at it bullishly? Because you're like, Piper, you just said you're bullish. That's all bearish stuff. Let's take a look at what I'm seeing here on the daily for the Market Dynamics Pro, guys. We had a trade pattern here, descending triangle here, descending wedge, I should say, right here that was coming down. You can see that we had a confirmed breakout on it. You guys see this little box right there? That is the smart target that Chart Prime said this is where we're going to likely head to from this breakout right here. So that move on the daily chart from that level of breakout to its target was a 14% move on average there. We hit it. We hit the smart target perfectly. So shout out to Chart Prime on that. And lastly, we do have a fair value gap that's given this little pullback. Let's pull that up and show you that. Chart Prime is putting a fair value gap right here where we just rejected. We got a little bit of it. You can see that grayed out piece of it there. We got a little bit of that fair value gap, but that's where we got our rejection at perfectly. I am going to be watching for us to pull back up into here and see if we can retest the bottom of this pattern. If we can break through that and get back above the 50, then I am full on bullish. But if we do not, and we get that rejection to the downside, the thing that I'm going to be watching here on this is us to come up. Nope. Can you do what I was telling you to do? Oh, it said, can you hit the right button, sir? Yeah, I can do that. Thanks. You get up here to the bottom of this, we retest, we come back down to the 382, down to that 236. And that is where I'm going to be watching for the bounce. That would all be right there on that Peter trend line. So that's what I'm watching there on that. Looking at the daily oscillators, we do have a little bit of upside. That's why I think that we will continue in the short term, the near term, a little bit of upside because we do have the oversolds. We did get the uptrend, and we got the really strong on the daily True 7 triggering there, along with that upper power bar saying, look, momentum to the downside is running out. We are low on juice, right? When it's bright red, good juice. Low on red, bad juice, right? It peaked it right there. That would be this bottom section. Everything indicating right now short-term uptrend. So I am bullish. But if we go down and we hit that $1,800, guys, I may buy even more Ethereum at this point. So let's kick it over to the Trio Cam. Guys, we currently have 41 people watching on YouTube. That means we have about 29 people watching on X. Let me know in the chat. If you are on X, drop a 1 in here. Let us know you're out there. We're over here in YouTube hanging out, but I know we got some people over there on the side of X watching right now. We appreciate you all. OC, what do you got for us on your chart now, man?
I do have Injective. Oh, there's a little, yeah, absolutely. So we have injective here, very nice. A trend line. This trend that was drawn a long time ago. I do believe that was through Piper Academy. I'm gonna be recalling this tomorrow when I do have enough time to investigate. But we went perfectly to this area right down here, and we had a couple of order blocks on daily. This analysis was for daily. Something important that is happening right now. It is a beautiful goose head. This is one of the most excited goose heads that I've seen because it is not only flagging out to the right for a almost perfect bull flagging here that could be going all the way up in here. If we take a traditional target, there we go method, it's basically on target right there. But it also is making that goose head right down here on a very specific area, which is in the second quarter to the upside. So basically, remember that I like to draw the two channels. So channel, let's just channel 1 and channel 2, and then sub channel, let's just say 1A and then 1B, right? I just made these numbers, so do not expect me to remember them, but just to show you guys around. The important thing here is that the goose head, it is on channel 1B, right? On up channel 1B. So it's a beautiful formation right now. We are overextending off the green cloud. We just turned market pumps in here. We're flagging out to the right. And if I start turning on my indicators, look at that beautiful support right here. Remember that the dashed line, it is the strongest support or resistance there is on your current time frame based on your settings. So it's not about the breakout, it's about the retest. We want to see it going like that and then going back down for a movement, further move, and then a retracement to keep building up on this arch to the upside. So I do feel that injective might be getting ready to start moving up. I would be recommending setting up a couple of alerts. In fact, right here, since this is all looking cool, but I don't have enough information right here, what I'll be doing is going somewhere around the 15 minutes in here and then setting up a couple of trend lines. Let's do that very quickly right here. And seems like we are breaking, all right? I mean, in fact, right here, what I'll be looking at after this breakout is going to be the retest and a break through this area. So I'm going to be adding another horizontal rating here. Right click on the ray, lock it, and also add an alert to it. So add an alert to it. And of course, another one in here for support. I once again an alert to it, and of course lock it so I don't move it. So how is it going to be working out? Since I'm breaking through, I want to see it coming back down here, and this is going to be my entry for a long, or if I burst through, most likely I will not be reaching this area, but I'm going to be bursting through this other area. And in that case, because, and let me bring up my little box in here, I am over the 45 line in here, and that is just basically drawing a line. And right now I am on sector up to the right, so above the 45 line. I am not expecting a retest if I break through, so I will be jumping in as I'm breaking through and closing that candle, and then I will be aiming for the next area of resistance. Something important to point out is that we have big confluence here and big confluence here. So for the longer run, expect some volatility between those two areas. Oh, my mouse is just going crazy. Something like that. All right. So just be careful there. And that will be basically it on INJ. Keep a look at the 15-minute chart and prepare yourself for a possible jump entry long today.
Awesome. Blackie Chan said, bust through like the Kool-Aid man. Oh, yeah. So hit that, get that sound effect. I know you got that sound effect, Tradefly. Oh, yeah.
You know
That's what I'm talking about.
You know it.
All right. We had a request for Ondo in here. I'm going to jump over and knock out Clean Spark. And then we're going to come back around, Tradefly, have something up and ready to go. We got about
AVAX.
11 minutes. AVAX, sweet. I'm going to jump into Clean Spark, and we'll talk about that because yesterday, guys, they had earnings reports And guess what their earnings report said? You have to wait and hear it because they delayed it. It has caused some shakeup in CleanSpark. So let's get into that article first, guys. Where are we at with that? There we go. CleanSpark stock falls after Bitcoin miner postpones their Q3 earnings. CleanSpark was scheduled to report fiscal third quarter earnings after the market closed on Thursday. They delayed its report, saying it intends to provide an updated time and webcast details in a subsequent release. We're still waiting on that as we speak right now. CleanSpark noted it intends to provide an updated time for the report. There were no further updates from the company as of the time of the writing on this. CleanSpark was expected to report those losses, third quarter losses of 4 cents per share on revenue. According to the estimates, the Bitcoin mining stock closed Thursday up 10.4% as crypto-related stocks rallied alongside price action of Bitcoin there. Despite the swift move, though, CleanSpark shares are down over 26% in the past 3 months. Let's jump into that chart and let's talk about that. There we go. Drop it down like it's hot. All right, CleanSpark, taking a look here, guys. We did come down here, hit the 382. Okay, we got the power bar, upper power bar said, look, it's out of juice, right? The bear power is falling. We got the oversold single block of it, an uptrend. We started to hit that pink transition there, which typically happens right before we go into green, right? Leads to up movements, right? We did hit a nice true 7 fire off here saying, look, this is also ending. See what happened last time we hit that right there? Bam, up. I am expecting that this is going to come back up. I'm going to be watching the $13.85 mark. Why? Because we have a value area low and the 200-day moving average there, and it would close the gap. All of that combined, I do see upside movement coming here. Right now, though, CleanSpark is down for the day because we did not get those earnings reports. So despite what we're seeing here on the chart, until we get that earnings report, it created a lot of uncertainty. What I've heard, Rumit, FUD alert, what I have heard across Twitter, because I follow a lot of Bitcoin mining groups. I'm in a couple of invite-only Bitcoin miner groups on X. There is talk that there might be a merger. And that's what they're holding off on because they do not want to shake up the valuations of the company of CleanSpark and the company they may be merging with. This is just a rumor. But the rumor is, hey, what's up there, baby trade fly?
What's going on? You want to say hi?
I did.
You can actually say hi.
Oh.
Shout out to Tradefly's daughter there, bringing some family love to the alumni show. I love it. But what I am going to be watching is that the rumor is that this merger could be Marathon Digital and CleanSpark. So if you own both of those, you might be in for a winning combination. But that's just a rumor at this point. It's rumor intelligence, rumint, as we call it in the Intel world. It is a form of intelligence that has zero source validity. So that's what I got there for CleanSpark. Let's kick it over to Tradefly. Tradefly, what you got for us, bro?
Good.
What's up? So we got AVAX sitting here on the daily, and I got my TA analyst here. She's in training, and she's going to give you a little prediction on whether we're going to go up and down. So wait for that. Wait for that. So right now, a couple things I want to look at here on the daily. It does look like there was a bit of a head and shoulders formation. So I did a little bit of a measured move just to kind of see like where it would have played out. And we've kind of got there. So one of the things I like to do when I look at some of the measured moves is where does that fall in line with support and resistance? So previous range, we see this on a lot of the other cryptos, especially Bitcoin. That was a big one too, right? We were talking about that 50K range for Bitcoin. Well, look, they had a very similar range for AVAX. Now, it correlates. It's not exactly 1-to-1, but you can see we've been in quite a long range here since really, this one kind of dates back to about December, but similar setup for AVAX. Now, we did pull back significantly for AVAX. And looking at this chart right now, it would be hard for me to be bullish. I got to be honest with you, based on, seeing some of the pattern setups here. You got a lot of resistance on the top side on the daily, which is significant. You have the dynamic reactor, the 200, all sitting to the top side of price action right now. That being said, we've had a big pullback for AVAX. So we are at the bottom side of this pattern as well. We do have a level of support. So we have confluence on the bottom side here for the price action to actually make a move up. Line in the sand, though, for me is at about $23. All right. We want to break over top of that to give us a little bit of hopium that we can continue a move up and right. That's what I'll be looking for. But I'm going to be personally, like, I'll be honest with you, right? I'd still be a little bit nervous about that. And now looking at it, I'm not against, adding to a long-term bag on AVAX here at these price levels right now, because it's a good area. It's a good buying opportunity in my mind for AVAX. The issue for me, like more of a shorter term, maybe like a swing trade, like this is either you're in right here or you wait for a retest over 23. But really, I'd say the area for me that is kind of more of interest is about 30. Now that's a long ways out. That's a pretty big move from where we're at current levels. That's 38% move. But it gets you over top a lot of this. All right. So you want to be on the top side of this pattern. You want to have an actual breakout. You want to get over the dynamic reactor. You want to get over most of the moving averages, right? You may not get over the 200, but what you would look for really in this range is that OC retest, boom, and then look for that continuation up and right. But right now, long-term bags, not against adding to that for AVAX here. We did get oversold. We got a trend reversal, and prime oscillator is starting to make a move up on the daily. So it could be an opportunity again to get into more of a long-term hold on AVAX. So short term, again, right here, kind of my line in the sand, about $23 or so. That kind of lines up top side of the range. You have the support area that is now. We want to flip that. It's resistance right now, but we want to turn it back into support and reestablish this range right here. Again, OC retest, you can look for that, but just understand that you have some resistance on the top side. You got some resistance that's working its way down, and then you have the dynamic reactor, which is working its way down as well. So less concerned about the moving averages. OC retest maybe on the top side of 23, played up to about 30. Again, that's a move of about 30%. That would be a really, really nice move for AVAX. Ultimately, though, I mean, fundamentals still bullish on AVAX. So I'm going to turn it over to my junior analyst here and have her make a prediction on whether we're going up or down.
I didn't understand a single word you just said.
That's okay. Up or down?
Up.
I love it. You heard it here first. We're going up for AVAX. You better buy now.
Funny
All right,
enough,
get out of here.
funny enough, there in the chat, who was it that said it? Oh Lord, where is it at? It would be C90. Was it C90 that said that, or was it somebody else? He said, "I'm going to go with her trade, no matter what she says, because it would be better than what I've done lately." So there you go. There you go. She's longing up. Man. That's what she says.
She's up. She called, hey, last time she did it, she hit for about 4K. I had to pay out a little bit.
Yeah, got to pay the kids. I made
a video. I was like,
nice.
What did I do? I said, can a 6-year-old beat the market or something like that? And she nailed it. So I had to pay up.
OC, what do you got? And then I'm going to come back around. I'm going to knock out XRP before we head out of here. So what do you got for us real quick, OC?
I have WMT Walmart. No, just kidding. Walmart, we're talking, of course. We just worked through the dynamic. Yeah, I know. So, by the way, you used to confuse it at the very beginning when she just launched, but yeah, funny story there. So something important that is happening is that we're flooding out on our prime score, which indicates a little bit of ranging. That is what we want to see as we have market pumps, and also break to the into or through the dynamic reactor. Something I don't really like is that this breakout is not as big as what I would like to see. I mean, in fact, I would be looking for a bigger candle to break out for me to have a couple of more candles to the downside and go visit the dynamic reactor for the retest, right? But so far, I mean, I cannot complain. We are now above the dynamic reactor there. So I'm going to be just throwing here a couple of support resistances, and as expected, we are above some key resistances, right? So we are right bouncing off this liquidity area, and we could be that motion of ranging before we decide where we're going to be going. But so far, it seems like we're making a pretty ugly goose head, nonetheless a goose head. So I will be betting for a further movement to this area at 0.2216. 16. Nonetheless, be very vigilant on World Bubble token because there's a real chance that we lose the dynamic reactor and we fell back down to those areas. If that is the case, most likely we are going to be making a head and shoulders and we could be risking going back down somewhere around 16 cents. Nonetheless, at this point, I don't want to be so bearish because we are bullish and we should be favoring longs over shorts at this point. But again, be vigilant both with your dynamic reactor and your oscillator not to lose the zero line right down here. So other than that, turn it back to you, Piper.
Awesome. Let's jump over. I'm going to talk about XRP, and then I'll show you guys what my trade reasoning is on that and on Ethereum. And then shout out to Dave Digital. Bro, it's funny you mentioned that. I literally just set it up for the raid. We're going to be raiding Randy Hipper right after the show today. She took that break when she was moving, and I just got out of habit. So it's a habit. You got to build those habits, right? 1,200 times of doing something to create muscle memory. So there you go. Let's jump into the chart first here, guys, and look at what I'm seeing on XRP. You guys know I'm in this trade right now on XRP down here. I am in a short trade, and the reason that I got into that trade is because I had this triple confluence going on here. Let's isolate this top chart, break into here, and show you where these lines are coming from here. One of them goes all the way back here to July of 2023, right? That's this one here that had resistance on it. Then we also have this one here coming from the bottom up right there that was coming through here. And then lastly, we have this horizontal one that has been a key level of play here for a long time. And all of them converged the other day on the same candle on the daily. So I did have a setup there that at 65 cents, you can see the alert was still never triggered. That's that little white tick mark there, because I thought that we would come up to grab liquidity from this previous level before coming down. When I saw it continue up and it wicked here yesterday, I said, okay, look, we hit the trend line there. I'm getting in on that trade. I got in at 62 cents, and now it is on the way to the downside. I am watching closely right now because it is coming into confluence of the dynamic reactor and on the quantum reactor, and it is green. Typically when this goes green, you can see even if it comes below it, it takes a while before it confirms red. What I'm seeing right now is that it is green. So I'm going to be watching here. I may close this out depending on how it plays out in the next 4 hours on this quantum reactor. We do have the 236 sitting right below us and all of the moving averages. That being said, everything on the oscillator right now is saying, look, peaked out. This is it. You see that? That's the true 7 triggered, said it is going to the downside. This is a reversal indicator. We also had the overbought trigger. That's that little orange tick mark. That is a VWAP overbought that triggered there also. And then the chart prime oscillator picking up the overbought with the downtrend, everything saying downside. So while we are at support right now, I do see that we have more downside coming. Money flow index is coming down and the volume matrix starting to curve downward. Everything right now telling me, look, we're probably heading down. So I am going to leave that trade open. Let's go ahead and talk about that trade and what I'm looking at here on Ethereum. So I got an Ethereum chart up here, guys. This is my actual trade chart on Blofin. If you want to trade with us, check out the link below. You guys can trade on Blofin. Also use that link. And we're going to do some trades together. On Thursdays, we do them. And anytime you guys hit me up in the chat, if you're a member, hit me up in the Discord, and we will jump in and talk about some trade setups on Blofin. So what I've done on this is my setup. I was looking at buying entries on here as it was down at like $2,400. That's where I got in, okay? I made all this profit. I'm watching it right now. I did close out some of the entry, okay? But I have entries going in at 2,400, 2,350, 2,300, 2,250. There's a reason that I do this trade setup. And what it is I've got low leverage running on that. That is a 5X trade. I've got a lot of dry powder, so I can continue to enter in, lowering my entry. It's a slingshot strategy where it picks up all of these entries, and as long as I have enough dry powder to continue to run it, I can keep buying in and adding to that position until it gets so much energy when it releases. You know, it's like a slingshot. The further you pull it down, the higher it's going to go, right? That is what I do with that energy buildup of dollars. I'm adding money to it. It's adding weight to to that trade, and that weight added to that trade can give amazing payoffs. That is my strategy that I'm running on this right now with Ethereum. Small entries, macro ladder in, micro ladder in at $50 increments, and then when it takes off, boom, shakalaka, let's make some money. So that is what I'm doing on my ETH trade. That's why I entered that XRP short, and I do think that we're going to see some more downside according to the Chart Prime Oscillator Pro. So boom, I got it. We're done. We're at the bottom of the hour. Let's go. What do we got, Trade Fly?
Man, I love seeing it, man. I'm doing a very similar thing with Bitcoin right now. We got to the bottom of the range that we've been in since February. I lathered in. We got to 50K. I doubled down on it. So same thing, man. I got my lines in the sand. I'm taking a similar strategy. It's not as close as the increments, but I'm identifying areas of support. Once we come down to those, I'm adding to my position, and I'm going to do very, like you said, very similar type stuff. And then I'll just probably keep going harder in the pain as we go down. If we go down, I don't know that I see that at this point, to be perfectly transparent. But with that being said, hey guys, it's great mixing it up with you guys. Love seeing you guys in the chat. Love doing this, honestly. It's one of the best parts of the day for me. And, just love you, fam. I hope everyone has a great weekend. And with that, I'll turn it over to OC so you can find out what happens if you smash the like button. It's going to be interesting. So hold on tight.
So guys, thank you so much for joining us, and a quick reminder, click that like button, because if you do and you have that little radio on your head that is going nonstop, it's gonna play some amazing music. And if you don't, click that like button and then play some amazing music. Today's a beautiful day, and it's time to make it worth it. So happy Friday, guys, and once again, you know what to do right down there.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys joining us today on Piper Academy for the morning market report. We're going to be back here Monday morning at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, bringing you guys the news, the charts, and the markets, and everything you need to have knowledge, because here at Piper Academy, knowledge is profit. Guys, we're about to go raid Randy Hipper's show over there. So when you get there, drop those graduation caps. Let them know that we are in the house. Let's go see our frat mom. It's been a while since we've been over there to party. Guys, we'll catch you next Monday. Until then, trade safe. And as always, use a stop loss.
I don't know what they keep telling me. I don't know what they keep telling me. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. Ain't no school like Piper Academy. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. I know you hungry for knowledge, that's profit appetite. Classes in session, this for the Army Piper acolytes. Trade flag at the soul, train ready. What a line from OCI, from a Mexican spaghetti, yo. Crunch crypto with a deep dive to project dime. And if you like the visual powered by Chart Prime, then you were part of that alumni, that's all spine. But if you have, step fall back to offline. We'll keep that front line covered, even when we're dead and gone. We'll find a way to keep going, cause we gon' keep on rolling out the wheels flow low. Sound off to get with them, the ZTS rhythm. Alexandra.